Welcome,
Hello.
welcome to the weekly wrap up. Now we are live in Getting Started in Crypto on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, and Instagram.
Yeah, got them all this time. Yep. We are live around the world. So if you're like me, good morning and just waking up into Monday. And if you are on Lisa's side of the world, then yeah, you are enjoying a Monday evening, hopefully. So
we're enjoying the sunshine and the warmth, and it's so lovely. It's been like in the 30s. It's like, beach weather.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. So let's see what Bitcoin's doing, shall we?
Oh, is that right? How's the cold going, Josh?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's purely temperature, nothing else. That's all I think about it. I've been kept warm inside watching the charts, and looks like another phenomenal week in getting started in crypto.
It's always a phenomenal week in getting started in crypto.
Yeah.
So
well, certainly been a lot of signals hitting target.
It's been epic. It really has. And if you're on X and everywhere, you would have seen that I've posted some epic results. We had a whole heap of signals going to 150% last week. It was just incredible. So yeah, so we must be getting somewhere towards a pullback in the market.
Okay, is that something you can tell us more about, or is it a bit more of a magic lamp moment?
A magic lamp moment? Hang on, let me get it.
Like you need to, like crystal ball. That's it, a crystal ball moment.
A crystal ball. No, let me jump into the charts and let's have a look at what we've got.
Okay, let's do it.
All right, so this is I'm going to go to the Bitcoin update that is in Getting Started in Crypto, just due to the fact that I've done all the fibs, I've got all that information, so I don't have to do it again. So basically, if we pull back in this region, we've got two regions that it can go to. So the 236 is 91K and the 382 is 83K. Lots and lots of talk on X and, in Reddit and everything about Bitcoin going to 80K. That's about as low as it goes. Maybe a wick might get to 80K, but 83 is the fib. I don't think it's going there. So that's just there for, to make it look good, because everyone says that it's going there, but I actually don't think it's going there. We've had 20 billion in Tether printed in the last couple of weeks. So yeah, huge. So if we continue with that sort of momentum, then we're going to continue up. We're going to have a minor pullback and potentially to that support there. We've got 3 supports. And then we'll continue. So if we get to 113,000, our bullish fibs, the 236 is 98,900 and the 382 is 89,300. You can see how they're getting higher as we go up higher. If Bitcoin gets, well, that's not the correct price. If Bitcoin gets to 126.9, there's a dot missing there. Then the fibs are, the 236 is 108K and then the 382 is 96,700. So we can still come back down to that sort of 100K range once we get to these higher levels. And then next one up, if we go all the way up and we get to 137K, our bullish fibs are 116 and 103. So what does that look like on our chart? So currently we're in, I'm going to zoom right in, just in a subwave. So we've got this massive shakeout where we knocked out shorts and longs at the same time. All the over leveraged traders wiped out in one instant. So that will happen throughout the market. So if we go back, right back through to the last bull market, I'm going to take it right back down here. Let me go up to 3-day chart, just so we can get there a bit quicker. Okay, So we go back to where we were sort of heading up, and you can see that this is where we started. This is where we started to get these shakeouts happening. So that's essentially what we've got happening at the moment. You can see there's still a lot of bullish momentum, goes up, shakes out the over leveraged traders, resets all of those funding levels, and off we go. It builds up all the shorts. The shorts are rocket fuel for the longs, and then we smash through and we go up. So while it might sit here for, a few days to a week, it's literally going to continue. So if we have a look at what this did back in 2020, we can see that this top was in 23rd of November. Then we came down pretty much similar timing to what is happening. So if we look at these charts as to what is happening, it's sort of replicated. It's a 4-year cycle. While the pattern won't be exact, it's pretty much spot on. This took 3 days for this to happen. So we go back, hang on, find our high again, gone. Okay. Lots of data. So we can see that we've got a green one this time, which is quite nice. So we're just going to sit here. We're going to move a little bit sideways in this pattern. And then it looks like we should get a continuation up. 3-day is still looking really good on the stock. It's still looking good on the RSI. It's coming back down. It's still got support in that region. We do have a little bit of money coming out, but MACD is still open, still looking good. So when we go to the weekly and we have a look at what that candle is closing at, we can see, pretty much we've got that spinning top candle. We've got a little bit of indecision, and that's what the candle has opened as at the moment. We're just seeing that pullback with the indecision from traders. We're seeing the reset of those funding rates. So this is the point where we're resetting. And, potentially there's all of those Bitcoins that Donald Trump and the USA is just about to buy. And if you were on X today, there's an article that I've written as well. So check that out and see why this is so important and what's going on with that at the moment. So yeah, as we just continue, it's looking really good for Bitcoin, just to pull back. When we go back to, 2020 and previous years, it's literally just a pullback in this region.
Okay, that sounds optimistic as well for everyone trading alts, because typically when Bitcoin pulls back and just stabilizes a bit, alts tend to run. So is that still the case?
Well, this is the thing. So we've got BTC dominance is on the rise. So we want to be careful with alts. Alts are all getting very, very toppy at the moment. So you want to be starting to take some profit out. Even if you're trading those sort of longer term, it's always good to take a little bit of profit out when we get the highs and add that back in a little bit lower, and just keep sort of, making those adjustments, and you'll end up with more money longer term.
So when you say taking the profit, you mean taking it and having it in stables and sitting on it in ready for it to come back down and buy back in?
Yeah. Or DCA back in, just like
rather than jumping from trade to trade.
Yeah. If this is your hodl bags and you're looking at this and we're going, okay, we're looking a bit toppy on a lot of charts at the moment, you might want to take 30% profit. It will all depend on what your longer term strategy is and whether you've got to pay taxes on that, because depending on where you are in the world, they can be up to 50%, and it's not worth it at the moment. So, if you're trading, then obviously active trading is different. With your hodl portfolio, you could very soon take some profits. I don't think we're going to get those 50% pullbacks as yet, but, taking sort of 10 to 15% and then just tucking that back in is a good idea, because BTC dominance is on the rise. It should hit 57.28 before we see a reprieve. So that does mean BTC is going to likely hold these levels because it is the dominance is starting to climb again. And we want to see a retest. So basically, we just want to see this retest and then come back down. And then we'll see alts continue to run. But as this retests in this region, alts will pull back. So, depending on how big, we'll know tomorrow how big this pullback is going to be for alts, depending on how strong BTC dominance rises. It may be a slow rise. If it's a fast rise, alts will pull back quite swiftly. So just be aware of that.
Okay. What should we look at next?
Total 3, we want to get to 3.82 trillion. That's our next fib level. And you can see the volume is immense that's coming into the market. So we want that to continue. We want, all of the retail and those sort of people to start entering the market. Looking at this, support on this is 3.37. It may not get there. It may just curl up like we're seeing a lot of the alts do and just take off. So we've got so much news and advertising in retail markets for Bitcoin and saying, oh, Bitcoin's hit 100K, Bitcoin's doing this, Bitcoin's going to $1 million. So there's going to be a lot more money. So this is the cycle, what we've been talking about, where we get the retail starting to enter. And, that kind of holds these bullish levels. And then we don't get those major pullbacks. So essentially, that's what we want to continue to see. We want to see the media continue to pick up these articles and report that where Bitcoin is, that it's holding these levels, that it's safer than it used to be. I'm seeing all of that sort of stuff at the moment.
Absolutely fired up a lot of the time by Michael Saylor and what he's doing. Typically in the US, it seems to revolve around that a lot, and a lot of companies kind of opening their eyes to what's happening with MicroStrategy.
Well, we've got Japanese companies that are just like absolutely snapping it up at the moment. So that is something to watch as well. So a lot of those are listed. So if you're looking at the stock markets, look at some of these Japanese companies that are buying Bitcoin, because they are going to be the next MicroStrategies when they come up, because they've got a lot of money that's pouring in at the moment. So let's jump into some alts. Did you want to run an ad first?
Yeah, let's just to give you some time. Let me just check to see if we had any more requests. No, we've got a few alts lined up already, I know. So I will let you get prepared for that, and we will be back in about 30 seconds.
Cool.
Okie dokie.
Okay, we are back. All right, so we've had quite a few requests for Solana. So this is a 4-hour chart, and it's got a inverse head and shoulders forming. Let me just show you. There we go. So we've got 1, 2, 3, coming back down for that, and then we should continue up. So ideally, this is the pattern we want to see on Solana. That pattern takes us right up to about 280. It may continue as a triangle for a little bit in this region. We do have a complete ABC here, but we could get an extended pattern happening. So Solana has got a 4-hour cross on the stock, which is showing that this should start to turn around soon. When we go down to 1 hour, we can see we just got that last little pullback for Solana. We've got a little bit of support coming up in this region, so might go down to about 226 and then a continuation up, I would think. Fingers crossed. So yeah, but it's looking quite good for that inverse head and shoulders, and as long as that confirms and we get that bounce up to 247, we are good to go. Pepe, which has been doing some huge things. I think it hit a massive big market cap, something like $10 billion or something. So doing really well. This is one of our signals currently. It's hit target 2, so at 27%. But it's got a little bit more to go. Just some consolidation. May pull back as much as the MAs here, depending on what that dominance does. So the MAs sitting here at lots of zeros, 2214. So it might come back to there. Good place to sort of ladder some orders down to if you wanted to get into Pepe, because it's done huge percentages since the bottom. So, and meme coins are going to continue. Coinbase is loading them up like there's no tomorrow. So I think getting into some of these, putting these in your hodl bags is a good thing, and just buying the dips. XRP is one that a lot of people have been talking about. We have had quite a big pullback, and we are sort of sitting in this area. So I'm going to drop this right down to probably to a 4-hour, just to sort of have a look where we are and get some. We don't even have a wave up yet, so I would think we're still going up where, this is A, B, C, still got a little bit more sort of corrective pattern to go. It had such a huge rise, it needs to build some support, and that's kind of happening at the moment. So like when we put levels on to XRP, I'll go back to the daily for that. Wave, our 236 has passed, so we've come back down, so we're probably going to this 382 mark, which is 197. If we continue to hold, so this region here may have just been a wick, so it may now hold that sort of 236 area and just kind of move sideways. And what that would look like is it will come up, finish that a bit of sideways before heading up again. Now, if it's coming down a little bit more, it's still going to go. I'm going to change the color to, I'll change it in a minute. So basically, it's still going to go up. It's going to come back down, and then it's just going to do something like that. So I'm going to make that one red. So there are potentials, like we get sort of either a triangle or we get a wedge. So that would be our triangle, and that would be our wedge. So that's potentially what you're looking out for in these patterns. So it's still correcting. It may just take off. It's been super bullish, but this is one that I would be buying the dips, and XRP does like the 0.5. When we look at corrective patterns, a lot of traders will have orders there. So that's a good place to sort of ladder down to if you want to get into XRP. Now, PopCat was one that I was saying that I am holding for the next 3 months. It came down and touched that support that I was talking about, and so far, 30% up. Woo. So not the biggest movers so far, but the meme coins are starting to make that return, and they did move first in the last sort of part of the market. So that's what we want. We want BTC to just finish its sideways and build that momentum with the Bitcoin dominance, and then continue up with our meme coins, and that money then rolls in. So we've got a cycle of how the money works. So if we go back and we go, okay, went from Bitcoin, went to meme coins, went to, you know, top 10, that sort of thing. And that's where you want to be if you're a trader, looking for how you're recycling that money to make the most profits. And we had a request for XDC, which looks to be in, let's have a look if that's the bottom or if that's the wave 1. Okay, so that's our bottom. So that's our wave 1. Come down for our 2, which we've got a very strong ABC. And now we're in the 3rd wave. So if we're looking for a wave formation just to see how far up, our wave 1's all the way down here. So we're probably going, because we're sort of mid-fib level on this, we're going to go and hang out at the 2618, which is 1.2. So it's still got a little bit more room to go on this. So like XRP, it's going to either do triangle and come up, or it's going to do the wedge, which I will make yellow for this one. So that's kind of what we're looking at for a lot of these charts. For XDC, I would say, looking at the patterns, we're doing the wedge. So you can see that we get these wedge forming patterns coming down each and every time if we go into the internals of this chart. So I don't think it's going to do a sideways triangle. It's going to come back down.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. There are a couple off YouTube if you've got time to have a look.
This is back on. I'll turn into my nerdy self again.
Super woman. Yeah. Yeah, a couple on YouTube on the side there if you want to have a look and select.
I've got Theta.
Yeah, and I will just have a look at emails, see if we've got. Okay, one on the emails for Rune.
So Theta is also one of our signals. You can see that was one of our ones that hit 157%. We are coming back. This is a 4th wave. We haven't had that 4th wave as yet. So let's get a measurement on where this is going. So it's so that's internals. Could be actually finished that like 3rd wave, I would think. So it looks like our MAs on this 2 hour are sitting at the 382. I'm going to put this up to a daily, just see sort of what we've got happening. Always good to look at many of the time frames just to get an overall picture of kind of what's happening. Because now when I look at the daily and I go, okay, we've got a gravestone doji on that, that's coming back down. So we've got 21 EMA is sitting at the same spot as that 100 MA. So that's a likely position that it's definitely going to come down to. So the 382 is at 2.46. So that will be a region to watch. If we're looking down lower, we can see that we've just got a bullish cross. So that's a really strong sign. When we get a cross on the MAs, it doesn't have to come back at that point until we get much higher, because the MAs will swoop up and then that's when it'll start to come back down. At this point, this is in a correction that's just going to retest and build some levels. So that's what we want to see. It's the same for XRP, the same when we have these strong momentum moving up, we need to build supports so that if the coin absolutely collapses, it's got something to hang on to. And that's kind of what's happening. So at the moment, we can see that got to the wave. 0.5 is at 2.2. And then we've got the 382 at 2.5. So currently sitting on this internal wave at the 236, but I do think it's going to come back down to that 382.
Okay, nice. The other one in the emails was Rune.
Rune. Okay, so Rune's just popped out of this channel and just trying. It's sort of back in. It wants to sort of hold around the 6.7 mark and then continue up. It is one of the slower coins at the moment, but that doesn't mean anything. So it just might have a different cycle to what some of these other ones that are pumping 100, 200%. So it does look like once it builds some support here, we can see that the MAs, like I was saying, swooping up to meet that. So that's a good sign. When we go to the daily, we can see that this wave is building. So the very lowest it should go. So if this, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is our 1, we should hang around that 6.69. That should be our wave 1 high and then a continuation up. So it's still looking good. It does need a little bit of sideways just to reset the indicators. So they're getting pretty high. Rune does like to hold up in these regions. So with just sort of curling up and down. So that is a potential here. But at some point, it's going to need to reset and get down to these lower levels. So you can see that, you know, after a couple of days, it sort of goes down. So we might sort of hit here, have one more wave up because we haven't quite finished that third wave yet, and then come back and reset these indicators. So yeah, that's kind of what it's looking like for a lot of alts at the moment. They're just in a phase where they need to really reset kind of what's going on.
Okay, cool. Anything else you wanted to cover or do before we wrap up?
It. So for all of those watching my videos as well, lots of views on Instagram and TikTok and on X, not so many, but it's new. I've been posting these new to X. So I've been studying integrated attachment theory, and a lot of the way we connect is basically through childhood wounds and that sort of thing. And a lot of that has to do with money. So, you know, I want to help you guys break this down because I know I hear so many stories after every bull market. I didn't sell. I over leveraged. I got greedy. I just froze. I was waiting for it to come down to 15K. I'm hearing that at the moment. Is Bitcoin still coming down to 15K? And I'm just like, no, it's not. So you missed it. So this is the thing. We want to sort of get past these emotions, get past, you know, the fear, get past the FOMO, and start making some money and taking the profits. Like, because you guys deserve this. You deserve to, you know, be making money from crypto. You put the effort in, you're going to get the reward. So yeah. So keep those, keep watching those. Make sure you hit the likes. So because then I get more views elsewhere and more people can see, and I get to help more people. And there's a lot more of those videos coming.
Just on accumulating Bitcoin, it reminds me of that quote that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So if you replace tree with Bitcoin, yeah, on where it potentially is going, it could be wise to accumulate. Who knows?
So the best time to buy Bitcoin was in 2009,
right?
Or the best time to buy it is now.
Exactly. Okay, good.
So that's a good analogy.
Right. Let's wrap up then. Anything else before we leave?
No, I think that's it. So you can grab me on any of the platforms and ask me questions. TikTok, X, YouTube.
If you're in getting started in crypto as well.
And my snoring dog behind me.
Jump in and pop your chart requests in the live chat. If you're in getting started in crypto, we can always look at it throughout the week there. Lisa and our other signals expert. Two of them 24 hours around the clock, pretty much. So it's good access to expertise. And yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. Have a great week ahead. Where are we now? 2 more wrap-ups before Christmas? Yeah.
Is it?
Wow. Wow. 2 more, the 16th and the 23rd. So take a little bit of profits for Christmas presents if you need to. Or if not, you can make sure you shill Bitcoin around the table at Christmas.
Yes, definitely. Tell all your family and friends to be buying it, because there's a lot more.
Orange pilling.
Yeah.
This is right. Okay. Have a great week ahead, everyone. We will catch you soon. Bye.